please, I beg of you, before you type in the comments saying that I'm wrong, that this game is amazing, that Squeenix is infallible, just hear me out. Now that that's out of the way, let's see how this remake just isn't fun.
I think it's time to blow this.
Now, we may only have the first reactor gameplay to go by, and if you listen to this line as the remake starts, you'd think that the rest of the game is going to be as great as this. Well, that may not be what you want it to be. Let's take the length of this section as an example. I sat down, installed and played through the remake demo, and it took me about an hour to beat. I played it once more, and again, it took me another hour, not shaving off more than 5 minutes or so. Then, I booted up my PS1 and played about an hour of the original Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, that hour had the first reactor, had some tutorial messages, about 2/3 of the battles in the remake, and generally the same amount of story conveyed. But, in the original, the first reactor only lasted 22 minutes. The rest of my 40 minutes with the original game gave me more backstory and introduced me to more characters. Now, there definitely was more in the remake, such as more writing and acting, but is it good writing? What I mean is the new dialogue that's been added to the story worth it, or is it just more for the sake of having more? In my opinion, and I can't stress this enough that it's my opinion, I don't think it's worth it. For example, Jessie's character. In the PS1 version, she doesn't really talk much, but when she does, it shows that she somewhat cares for Cloud, even if he doesn't care for her. Is trying to open up to him, and even perhaps showing that she's not always happy and excited despite the front that she puts up for herself. Now, compare that to the remake dialogue, where it really changes her character. She comes off as playful, audibly says that Cloud is schmexy, while also making her character care more about looks than personality with saying this, asking if he and Tifa are close. This is probably supposed to come off as her maybe asking so that she could get closer, but kinda just sounds like she's nosy. Sexual innuendos? Oh my god, you're my hero. Okay, she sounds pretty cute there. Giving her a more panicked, cracked under pressure personality, and then really caring for him while disregarding her hyperactive personality from 8 minutes ago. Now on to the graphics. And my goodness, are they beautiful. The technology that they're using here is above and beyond what was even imaginable for the PS1. There's nothing here that doesn't blow away the original in any way, shape, or form. Except the artistry. Now let's just look at the pre-rendered cutscene for the intro that everyone loves. Yes, you can count the polygons on Aeris's face, and yes, it looks blocky as all hell, but there's more mystery here and more for you to imagine about the world. Aeris's face appears out of what looks like space and a green hue. Then we see that she was kneeling down in front of a pipe with this strange material coming out of it, in an alleyway where nothing but her and the pipes are showing. She then walks away from this green material into a street where immediately cars are driving in front of the camera, and it comes off as an industrial city, showing us that she was attracted to something natural on the side, opposed to the very unnatural city in which she resides. Over to the remake version, and in the span of the space bit from the PS1, the camera cuts from space to way overhead into the sweeping motion to come down to Aeris. Also, the rest of the alleyway is lit and modeled, taking our eyes away from a singular point that stands out to just seeing a girl looking at a pipe in a normal alley. This cutscene is generally a good representation of what I presume the rest of the game is going to be like. More things that may or may not change what was originally there, while also making it slightly worse in other regards. Since when do people of Midgar hate nature so much that they'll aggressively step on a flower that a young woman is about to reach for, not even stopping to say sorry? Finally, the gameplay. It's fine. It's fun for just button mashing with occasional strategery, but then there are instances where you need to heal both your boys because they lost half their health in 3 seconds. You can't use a potion because you have to fill a bar either by waiting and running away from the enemies, or attacking the enemy while low on health, risking getting hit for even lower health or dying. Now, how does that make sense? Combat that feels great like a hack and slash, but then tells you to stop hacking and slashing to wait and perform a cooler move or even heal. That's right, it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. Why try to remake an amazing game where it could never live up to the 15-year hype? You don't. That's why we shouldn't see this as a remake, it's a reimagining. They're not just taking this old game, improving the graphics, gameplay, and filling in the gaps of the story, they're changing it all. I think this is going to be like that new Pokemon movie remake. There is no reason to remake it, as those old visuals still look amazing. It's still telling generally the same story, so there's nothing to be gained of any substance. And it's only marketing itself to the old guard that will buy anything that has Cloud and Tifa on it, and new fans that say they like Final Fantasy VII, but have never played it. Now, I'm neither of those. I just like good games, and from what I've played of the original, only around 5 hours, I loved it. The battle system feels just right, allowing for both a thoughtless button mash for farming, or a quick and thoughtful action that lets you time your attacks, buffs, or heals to perfectly attack the enemy. The graphics, while yes outdated, can be improved by both official re-releases or just playing the original game on original hardware on a big old CRT with the warmth of the CRT glow bringing you closer to the feeling of the warmth of the Earth's Mako. And that's something I totally forgot about. When you're fighting the final boss in the original game, it enters a counterattack stance that if you attack, it hits you back hard. This incentivizes healing or using other special abilities during that time to recoup your team. Now, you have to hide behind a piece of cover to hide from a horde hitting laser beam, but if you don't have any of the special action pieces, you can't do anything except just stand there and wait. And whenever the boss jumps away to a cutscene, you can't do anything. You can't heal, you can't charge Barrett's overcharge, you simply have to watch while the boss runs away from the attack, while your party does nothing to get ready for the coming onslaught. By the way, I hope you like buying what used to be one nicely paced game into 3 or more bloated and slow games that have cliffhanger endings on purpose so that you have to buy the next one to know the ending of a $70 game. Imagine if they remade Yakuza into Yakuza Ki, Yakuza Wa, and then Yakuza Mi. All these big games are being originally one large game. That really would suck, wouldn't it? Paying 3 times for what used to be one game? At least with these episodic games like Telltale, they're only like $10 to $20 each episode. Anyways, I'm done now. Go and kill me in the comments, but if you actually enjoyed what I had to say, then maybe leave a like.